So here we are. Now you might look at this and think, yeah, that's finished. And in some ways you might be right, but for me, the addition of shadows will really bring this to life. So I'm going to add the shadows. I'm kind of exaggerating the depth of the shadows and the strength of the sun, just to get some depth and dynamics into this line and wash drawing so far. So I'm going to start at the left. The shadow colour is a mix of indigo, ultramarine violet and a tiny hint of red, and you'll see when it goes on, it's kind of a warmish colour. The first shadow I'm going to put on is a fairly standard one under the eaves. And I'm deliberately trying to keep the bottom edge of that brush stroke uneven because it's not a flat rendered wall. This overhang there, we'll put some shadow on there, and it kind of, again, I'm looking at the reference picture, and it kind of goes to about there. And in addition to that, there'll be shadow down that end and on the door there. We'll put a bit of shadow along this while I'm up in that area. I'm very mindful I don't want to work over an area that I've already got some wet, because you get some really interesting effects but not really wanted. This shadow is hopefully matching the one for that side. Perhaps the angle will be a bit steeper because it's a bit further away from the light source, and that comes down to about there. Mask this, and I can see from the reference picture it kind of goes across that window there. Again, inside the door frame, and it kind of comes a bit more of a, and then across this door frame it's quite deeper, so this must be a deeper recess. And then to add some more believability and a bit more dimensions to this, put some shadows on. There will be one there, there will be one there, there will be one across there on this. And what I'm going to do now, even though that area to the right, which would be well away from the sun, and this wall is kind of casting a deep shadow, which I've indicated in a darker green, but I want to put some of the actual pre-mixed shadow colour on, the purpley bluey shadow colour, which will make it even more dynamic. And I tell you what, we'll bring something down there. Get some. So with it being such a definite shadow, there would be, it's kind of an odd thing, there would be a definite shape across the grass. So even though that may look as though it's really killed the grass underneath, as that shadow dries, it will become a bit more transparent. So you'll see some of the grass shape from underneath. And then this bit, look, we'll just put a bit of bit of shadow there that instantly tells you that the wall is a bit further back. Right, now we need to let all that dry. So here's another little bit of kind of adding a bit more believability. These wash mixes on here, now they've made their own shape. I'm going to use a really fine pen. This is a really old 0.05. The reason I'm using an older one and a finer pen is that when you draw, let me see if I can show you. Here's the pen I used to do most of the line work. You can see how fine that line is, but once you've actually put a watercolor wash on, it gets, the ink line spreads ever so slightly, and so you get a heavier line than you perhaps may want. So I'm using a fine pen, and I'm gonna, there you go, you see that's spreading, so it's almost like a 0.1, and go around some of the random shapes created by the washes as they mix, and create some other. There's a nice one there, look, with some nice strong colour in it, and create some other masonry stone shapes. See, there's one there that's crying out to have a nice big square, even though it's not on the reference picture. And at this point, I'm working on the shapes and the colours, etc., that I've created here, rather than what's actually on the reference picture. So I'm sure if you go back to the beginning of the first video and pause and have a look at the reference photograph, what you might do is go, all right, well, that looks nothing like it. But I did say at the beginning, this is my interpretation, kind of an impression. Right, and the next thing, go back to the heavier pen. Light's coming from that direction, so, and this wall isn't flat, it's not a flat rendered thing, so there will be heavier lines to the bottom and to the right of a lot of these stones. Not all of them, just random ones. But by doing this, see, all of that, all the line work in that area there is all the same weight. So let's start to get some variation in there. We'll put some heavy lines that might be cast by the shadow. Again, not everyone, just random ones. It's all right saying random, because being random when you're trying to do it to order is kind of the hardest thing to do, because your natural tendencies, I've done that one, let's do the one next to it, or, but literally just, and try not to, if you're picking out random bits, try not to leave the same kind of gap. Don't leave, for instance, don't pick this one and go there and then go 1, 2, 3 and then do another one, because what all you'll do is create another pattern. But I hope you can start to see how adding these lines, we'll go on there, we'll put some shadow on there. You see the green's bled into that. I don't know if you can see it on camera. The green of the grass has kind of bled into there, but do you know what it looks? There'd be moss growing there, wouldn't there? And we'll do the same exercise. Look over here, and where there are white spaces, we can pretend you might like to put another stone in there. and because there's no actual paint under there, under this bit I'm working on now, you can be a bit more, you can put some texture in. But while we're on the subject of texture, if you have a look down here, some of these where the wash has gone on, they're just flat, and each stone is the same colour as the one next to it. Well, in reality, they wouldn't be. So what I like to do as a kind of the final thing is to pick up perhaps the yellow ochre and pick one there and just kind of go over, and that one there. Just go over random ones. Again, that word random. And just put another layer of colour in there, so it just adds a bit more interest. And up here where there's virtually no colour, look, we'll just put some in so that you don't get bricks that of the same colour next to each other, so you haven't got this wash of perfectly coloured bricks. I'm going to leave that green because I quite like that. I've now picked up some of the indigo purple shadow colour, and we'll put that in there. I'm not sure it'll work with this is what size is this brush? It's a Sea White Kolinsky Sable. It's a size 4. I'm not sure it's big enough to actually do any dry brush feature. I don't think it will, but we'll just use it to, again. And I actually think that I can feel the moment approaching where you cross from detailing and fine-tuning, all really laudable words. Oh yeah, I can get kind of a dry brush effect on there, which is, let's put one on there. I've just taken most of the paint off. And just use a draggy thing. This kind of an effect, it can work really well. Let's try, see if I can do it over there. Yeah, not too clever, but there's too much actual wet paint on there. And the other thing, here you go, another way you can actually, now you've got the shapes in, you can actually put more shapes in with your brush, then pick up your really fine pen and just go around them. You need to be aware though that if the paint that you're outlining is really wet, the nib on these, the capillary action of the nibs might pick up some excess moisture, and your pen will stop working for a few seconds, but it'll just dry out and carry on again. So, as I said before, oops, sorry, I left my pen there. I'm actually going to stop there because I think I lied. Fine pen, put some detail lines in that look like the bottom of a broken plank on the door. Just put some more texture in. There we go. Just adds a bit more interest. So it's not perfectly painted or drawn. Door, but I'm actually really, I can sense that we're approaching that stage where everything you think, oh, I could do this and I could do that, and you're fiddling now. So the minute the word fiddle enters your head, that I could be fiddling, that's when you need to stop. So as I say, on all the best TV painting competitions, artists, you have no time left. Put down your brush and step away from the canvas. So there you go. I'm going to put that down. I'm going to call that finished. And there you go. That's a line and wash demonstration in my style of a nice barn in Swaledale somewhere. Hope you've enjoyed it. As I say, any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. Get in touch with me by all the usual channels. Okay, thanks again and good luck. Bye.